Welcome, Pranjal.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Pranjal, what's up?
Yeah. Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Hello. So
yeah.
I'm audible. Hello.
Yeah, perfect
Okay.
audible,
Okay. Okay.
perfectly
Okay.
audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, man. Welcome
Thank.
to the mock interview number 3
Yes.
of Petroleum from Scratch for Oil and Gas. Before we start, like we always do, please give us a brief introduction about yourself. And yeah, go ahead.
So my name is Pranjal Marotra. I'm currently pursuing my BTech in Petroleum Engineering in Upstream from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun. Talking about my academics, I have done internship in Reliance Industries Limited, and in that internship, I have explored the new thing, that is the use of data science and the machine learning. And with the applying the concept of data science, I have developed the regression model for the CBM field uh, uh, of of the mm, CBM for the schedule model actually. And now talking about my hobbies, I like to play badminton in my free time, and that's it.
Okay. So,
Yes.
great, Pranjal. The most important part that I see right now that in your introduction is the fact that you worked on a regression model.
Yes, sir.
So let's have a bit of discussion about that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We
Okay.
were reading us your CV and me and we were just to introduce ourselves. I'm Divyanshu Vyas.
Yes, sir.
I'm accompanied by Jayesh Chahar, Anshul Jha. They are both from
Hello, sir.
UPS. They are seniors,
Okay,
2019
sir.
pass outs, and Divyansh Sethi. He's from. We are all pursuing masters. Divyansh is from IIT Madras, and we all three are from IIT Dhanbad. And we will be taking you into. So let's talk about the regression model that you're talking about. Can you give us a
Yes, sir.
brief about what regression is?
So regression is basically when we have a number of parameters, when we have a number of data sets consisting of the
Mm-hmm.
dependent and the independent variables, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to find the relation between them, between the dependent and the independent variables. Then we go for the regression models. For example, in my case, what in my Reliance intern, I was given the scaling tendencies of the wells, and in that I have to develop the relation between the scaling tendency and the various parameters like the downhole temperature, pressure, and with the help of the NCSS software and the Excel, I have developed the model. I have developed the relation, and then I have predicted the scaling tendency for the next for the other parameters, like if the temperature uh, is is different, then what will be the scaling tendency. If the downhole uh, total dissolved salts will be different, then what will be the how it will affect the scaling tendency. Basically, this was
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah, that's a application of regression.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about the mathematical background of regression? How does it go about things in a few like simple terms?
So regression is basically predict mm, um, regression mathematical.
Okay, I give you
Uh,
X, right? And I give you Y,
okay.
right? You
Okay.
have a data of X and Y, right?
Okay.
And now you have to perform regression on it. I'm telling you that it will be a problem which will be solved by regression. So
Hmm.
tell me, what is like, how does regression happen in the background? I see that you have worked on it using some software and Excel maybe,
Yes. Yes.
but how are you aware of how it goes in the background?
Background working.
Just in simple
Um.
words. No need to use high technical language or
Yeah, I'm not asking you to be right
Okay. Okay.
about it.
Okay.
Like just give an idea so that we see.
how actually a linear regression will work.
Yep.
Basically, it follows the y equals to mx plus c.
Okay.
And with the help of we will find the background equation for linear regression is y equals to mx plus c, and by putting the values of x, and means we will finding out the slope and the values of y, and with the help of that we will be finding the relation then.
Okay. But your x and y values will not exactly fit in a line.
Yeah, then there is a kind of error that is called residual error.
Yeah.
Residual error is there, which is the actually the measure of the means it will tell us how our actual how our models is deviating from the actual model. Means if there is a
Right.
means one point is there, then if the actual value is x1 and the predicted value is x2, then the residual error is x1 minus x2. This is what it actually do.
Mhm. Right.
So this is, and value of r square we have in regression model, we have x, in Excel we have r square. R square is a measure of accuracy, means this is all it measures, means the summation of the residual error, square of the residual errors.
What is R square?
R square is the square root of the square of the residual errors.
And what is residual error? You said
Residual error,
x
what
minus x.
yes, means if at one point the means if we just take an example, for example, at x equals to 5, the predicted value is 25 by the regression model, and the actual and the actual value is 20. So residual error will be minus 5, means
Yeah.
we can take a mod means 5. So, and for the second case, if at x equals to 6 we have predicted value as 30 and actual value as 32, so residual error will be 2. So value of r at this point will be square root of 2 square plus 5 square. So that will be the value.
Okay. So how will
Yeah,
you can tell about the accuracy from seeing the value of R square?
means r square will tell us how the model will be deviating from, means more value of r square, which means that more the model is deviated from its original path, means the model
Okay.
is
You have
less
a R
stable.
square value of 0. What you can tell from that? You trained a model and you have a R square of 0 for that model.
Hmm.
So what will be your conclusion about that model?
Okay, so I think like you are almost reaching the point, but you are getting confused between something which is R square and something which is an error. So the residual part is your error that you're talking about right now. R square that Jayesh is asking right now is something different. So that is like so moving ahead, I'll just tell you what it is. So it's like a goodness of fit, how close your predictions are to the like actual. So when R square is 0, then your model is doing terribly, right? When R square is not 0, R square is more than 0, and it's positive, then your model is predicting fine. But when R square is negative, it's even more terrible, right? So yeah, we can discuss about that. But the residual the R square is not the the error part. R square is different, and its accuracy is also different, right? So what kind of data did you have? Can you please repeat?
Data in which means in my internship.
Yeah, just the data.
In my internship, they have provided me the CBM data of scaling tendency of the Shadol
Of
field.
the okay, the
Of
well
the Shadol field.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what parameters are there in that data?
First parameter was independent data were first magnesium concentration, sodium concentration, total downhole TDS concentrations, and then bicarbonates concentrations and calcium concentration. And the dependent parameter was scaling tendency at the rate 25 degrees Celsius and 50 degrees Celsius. These
Okay.
parameters were given.
Nice.
Nice.
So you found out a dependency between
Yeah.
parameters and scale.
Yes, yes,
Nice.
yes.
Nice application. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Interesting.
Pranjal, can you name me
Yes, sir.
some real life scales? What are the different kinds of scales which are seen in the wellbore?
So first is the basic that I have gone through is the calcium carbonate scaling.
Mm-hmm.
Then sodium chloride scaling is also there.
Mm.
Then gypsum scaling, then halide scaling, and iron scaling is also there.
Okay, and what are different methodologies available for cleaning up these scales?
It depends on the type of the scale which is
Mm.
formed in the well bore. First of all, we will be finding out what are the what is the type of scale present. For example, if NaCl is present in the well bore, then we can easily, as we know that NaCl gets easily dissolved in the water, so we can use water. Then for CaCO3 scaling, we use acids like HCl. And for the iron scaling, we will be going for some other different methods. So these
Okay.
are the methods.
Let's say I have a scale of, called barium sulfate. Barium sulfate, I have a scale which have been deposited in my flow lines. What is the most preferred method to clean up the flow line in that case?
With which fluid we will be cleaning means you are asking.
Which method I'm asking? I'm not
Which,
hinting towards
okay,
a
okay.
fluid. Or...
Which method? Barium sulfate. Right now, I don't remember this.
Okay, no issues.
What is the
So,
specific method?
so I'll tell you that barium sulfate
Okay.
is actually not dissolvable in water as well as acid. So we use mechanical ways such as pigging to clean up the barium sulfate. Okay. So
Okay.
it's not necessary that we'll always use a fluid to dissolve the scales. We can also use some mechanical means.
Okay.
Okay, can you tell me the difference between a pour point of a fluid and cloud point of a fluid?
Pour point is the point at which it is a maximum point means it is a temperature above which the fluid will cease to flow.
Hmm.
And the cloud point is the point at which the clouds are forming.
Which clouds we are talking about? By cloud means we are referring to which clouds, which kind of substance we are referring to.
Liquid is converting vapor.
But if vapors are forming, then vapor will not restrict the flow, it will ease the flow, right?
Yes.
Take your time, no hurry. Think about it. What kind of substances causes restriction in the flow? Just think. Okay, say scale is a one kind of problem, right? So scale can be termed as a one kind of problem in flow assurance parts. So what are another kind of flow assurance problems which we infer in real life scenarios?
The other kinds like the corrosion deposition
Mm-hmm.
means in the fields we corrosion depositions, then hydrate problems,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wax deposition problems are also there
Right.
other than the
So
scales.
yes. So when we were referring to the cloud point of a fluid, so the clouds which you are referring to, that is actually a wax. Means when you see some waxy material, that waxy material actually looks like a cloudy, means off-white cloud-like structure. So that is why the term we use cloud point. Okay.
Okay.
I have a Divyansh, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Pranjal, if I give you a case where I say my well has due to various reasons, my well has now scale, like the
Yes, sir.
uh, wellbore now in the casing and all the tubing. Basically,
Yes, sir.
I have scale deposition and all.
Okay.
So my flow rate will be low. right? On the surface, my flow rate will be less. That is something that I've observed. My flow rate has
Yes.
significantly reduced.
Yes.
Now, which part of the nodal analysis, which part of it uh, will be affected due to this? How can you explain? Like, I won't give you hints first up. I'll just ask you, how can you explain this problem from a nodal analysis perspective? My flow rate is reduced. I know where the flow rate has been reduced. Why it is reduced? I have recognized that some sort of problem is there. So which part of it? How do you explain it by nodal analysis?
So
Make
first
it
of all,
easier. Yeah, go ahead. First you try.
so you said we know that the flow restriction means the decrease in the flow is because of the wax or the flow assurance.
Let's
We
start
are
again. Okay.
at
Yeah,
surface we know this fact.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's start again. I'll reframe my question.
Okay.
We see on the surface that my flow rate has reduced.
Okay.
Let's go one step before, right? First, I need to find out why my flow rate has reduced. What do you
Yes.
do? The only tool that you know right now is nodal analysis. That's it. Nothing
Okay.
else you know.
Yes.
That's the only chapter you have read in production engineering. Tell me, how can you guess the problem?
Firstly, we will inspect the well performance.
Yeah, keep going.
Whether the flow rate is decreased due to the due to some problem in the wellbore or in the reservoir. So we will be just going. Firstly, we will be inspecting our well.
Very well
And
said, Pranchal. Uh, yes, like if we want to do that, how can we do that? We are standing on the surface. How can we analyze the well performance?
we can do
That's
at
exactly
the
what. Yeah.
we can do the nodal analysis at the wellhead and in between the perforation and in between the wellbore we can do the nodal analysis.
Okay.
Let's say we have a node at
Yeah.
bottom hole of the well. Let's say
Okay.
we have a node there. So now how will you go from here? See, Pranjal, it is related to some inflow curve and outflow curve. Now think in regards of these two curves.
If the
You have to
first
prove.
of all
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
first of all means from what I means if VL outflow and the inflow curves are not intersecting each other, then
They are
PW
intersecting. That's
okay
how they are intersecting. That's how the flow rate
okay.
is there on the surface.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the case of the, I think in the case of the artificial lifts, they don't intersect. So
Yeah, there's no right now. There's nothing like that.
okay.
The flow rate has reduced. It was
Okay,
huge.
flow rate.
Now it's half the initial flow rate. And you need to check where is it coming from? What's the problem in the entire system? You need to find out which part of my production system is problematic.
Whether the
How do you do
reservoir
that?
part is problematic or the production part.
Production partners.
Yeah. Now, I am giving you information that on the surface flow lines, they are recently set. 2 months back, only new lines were set and everything is clean and all. So there's no problem there. So you taking a node on the surface, like you just said,
Yes.
does not make sense. Now Divyansh has said that it's at the bottom hole. So
Bottom.
now how you decide where is it? Where is the problem? Think of some visualizations. Think like that. You'll have to compare between initial stages and what has changed now. That will give you an idea. Think about that in that case. When I say nodal analysis, what two things that come to your mind first up?
Means first of all,
Two curves, popular curves are there.
VLP and ILP.
Okay.
The IPR and VLP, vertical lift
Yeah,
performance.
VLP or
Yeah.
TPR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know there are two curves, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do you do in nodal analysis?
Selection of the nodes is key.
I've selected the node.
Okay.
I've given you a reason why I've selected the node. And
Yeah.
Divyansh also told you that fix that node. Bottom hole is my node.
Bottom hole is my node.
What benefit do you have now? Since bottom hole is your node, one part is the reservoir, the other part is your wellbore. Okay. Now, what do you do next?
Pranjal, say we have a node at our bottom hole, right? Just try to think what will be the inflow parts and what are the outflow parts. Just imagine the journey of a crude oil from reservoir to the surface. Now, according to the node we have selected, try to think and explain that what is the inflow part related to this node and what are the outflow parts related to this node. You understand the terms inflow and outflow, right?
Yeah. When the node is selected at the bottom, so the inflow perimeters will be affected if there is any kind of skin is present around the wellbore or not, and the size of the perforation will also.
Okay.
Right. You're going correct. Yeah.
Mm,
So which of the following two options are there, IPR or TPR? Which of the following is affected due to a scaling
There
problem?
is a skin. Yeah.
If there
As you
is a
said.
skin, let's start.
if there's a skin,
Yeah.
IPR curve,
And if there is a scale,
and if there's
Scale.
a scale,
yeah.
then it's
Pranjal, can you tell me at what locations in your well can scale be deposited? Can you tell me all the locations?
yes, where there's a sudden change in the area, then there will be pressure drop, and when there's a pressure drop,
Okay.
there will be scale. Like when the fluid is flowing from the reservoir to the perforation, there's sudden change in the area will occur, and then from there to tubings, and then the main deposition will occur at the surface lines where there is a kind of a curvature, means curve changing is there, means from pipe is circular in nature, a sudden change in the diameter of the pipe will occur, so there the chances will be more in scale.
So do you think
So-
that scale will also be deposited in reservoir part?
Yeah, exactly.
Scale will deposit in the reservoir part.
Yeah, we have there
No.
that node at well bottom. So in reservoir part of that node, will be scale deposition or not?
Yeah, according to your answer, almost all the parts of well can be vulnerable to scaling. But can your reservoir is more susceptible to scaling, or there is no scaling in your reservoir?
Scaling occurs when there is a pressure change. When we perforate a reservoir, then there is a kind of a pressure change. With the prior to this, no scaling will be occur in the reservoir.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the causes. I'm just concerned. I mean, causes can be anything, whether it is reduction in temperature or reduction in pressure. But I'm asking whether there can be scaling in reservoir or not. We are not concerned with the well right now. Can you notice any scaling problem in reservoir within the pores, within the matrix?
Yes. Mm,
Correct.
yes. Yes. We will be observing.
Yeah. So I mean that is one of the major reason, and one of the major reason behind fracturing, because in the well where you see very, I mean, large amount of incompatible water, then we use hydraulic fracturing to bypass the reservoir which has been scaled. And can you briefly tell me some of the causes behind scaling? You have mentioned reduction in pressure. Can you tell me more?
Um, incompatibilities of the reservoir fluids will also result in the scale, and this if the two fluids which are present in the reservoir are incompatible, then scaling will also takes place. So these are the major three parameters on which scaling depends.
What do you mean by incompatibility? How do you define whether two fluids are incompatible?
Incompatible in the sense they are not able to mix together, means their some properties are different with uh, the fluid. One fluid property is entirely different from the second fluid. For example, if the one fluid can dissolve NaCl but the other can't dissolve, so these are, they are incompatible, means they are compatible.
Right. So you mean the solubility of both the fluids are different, then both the fluids are incompatible, right?
I mean, this is one case, means compatibilities. Um,
Yeah, with reference to scaling. If two fluids have different solubility for two different types of minerals, let us say calcium carbonate, then can you say that they are incompatible?
yes.
Okay, correct. And also, while you were mentioning the data, you mentioned about carbonate data and bicarbonate.
Yes.
So, what do you think? Which one is more adverse?
More adverse to calcium carbonate scaling.
Okay.
With respect to which calcium carbonate scaling you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So carbonate data is more more vulnerable because
Presence of carbonate ions
presence
or
of carbonate
presence of
ions.
bicarbonate ions. Okay,
Presence of
let us.
bicarbonate ions will decrease the carbonate scaling because carbonate ions are more soluble. Means that's why.
Bicarbonates are more soluble, I guess.
So calcium bicarbonate is more soluble. That's
Yeah.
why presence of bicarbonate ions will decrease the calcium carbonate scaling. So presence of carbonate ions will have adverse effect on the scaling.
All right. All right. So let us take a case in which our reservoir has a fluid, and that fluid has abundant amount of bicarbonate ions. Correct.
Okay.
Now, if we reduce the pressure, what will be the next mechanism which will lead to formation of carbonate ions, and which will further lead to scaling?
When we reduce the pressure,
Yeah.
carbonate ions present will try to, according to Lee-Chatelier principle, will try to move forward, and with the help of that, according to, because of that, it will form more carbonate ions because the equilibrium will shift to the right, and if carbonate ions are more forming,
Right, as
then
in towards the carbonate or towards the bicarbonate?
if bicarbonate ions is there, and if we decrease the pressure, so bicarbonate ions will convert into the carbonate ions,
Okay.
and then calcium carbonate scaling will increase.
All right. So increase in pH will reduce the scaling or decrease it?
Increase the scaling.
Increase the scaling.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So, Pranjal,
Yes, sir.
How comfortable are you with well-test analysis? You can be honest. It's fine.
It depends on the level of the questions.
Okay, we'll start with reservoir then. Reservoir engineering, and we'll lead our
Okay.
way to
Okay.
well-test analysis. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So you mentioned that you have worked on DCA, right?
Decline. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me, like, first up, tell me all the models that you know, the decline curve models that you know.
Exponential model,
Mhm.
harmonic model, and the hyperbolic model. The
Okay.
3 types of the models which
Okay. If I have a very tight reservoir, what kind of decline do you expect from that?
very tight.
Mhm. Or maybe, like, if I reframe the question,
Hmm.
which of these 3 models shows the slowest decline with respect to time? Like, in 100 years, if I compare, the least magnitude of decline has occurred. Which of these models shows that least decline?
Least decline.
Yeah.
It's exponential.
I think exponential is the highest, the
High.
fastest decline. Yeah. Okay, if I give you a, like, if you are familiar with Excel, if I give you Q, the flow rate and the time data,
Okay.
right? Uh, can you fit a particular decline curve model to that in Excel?
Flow rate and time.
Yeah.
Please repeat the question.
If I have a flow rate data in one row and the time, for every time I have a flow rate, right? Every
Okay.
time noting down on regular intervals, I have flow rate, right?
Okay. Okay.
So, what steps? If I just ask you a procedure, how do you do decline curve analysis? I'm only giving you the data. I don't know what kind of model it is, right? In field cases, we'll just have our data. I'll
Okay.
just have flow rate versus time data. How do you go about decline curve analysis in that case? Let's say if you have to verify if it's a exponential decline, what do you do? Or maybe, like, first try to explain the project or something that you have done on decline curves, and then we'll move forward from there.
So we have not used any ARPS equation. We have
Okay.
given the data, means of the field by a mentor, and with the help of the data, we just generated the means a relationship between the data and of the order 4 means regression model में generate किया. We have generated the regression model, and the best fitted model we have taken it for a consideration, and with the help of that we have fitted for the next 10 years prediction. We have done this. We have not used any ARPS equation in our project.
So what kind of equation did you use?
Polynomial equations, which was best suited for that data.
How did you
Polynomial.
find out? Yeah, how did you find out the best suited equation? Because there are infinite possibilities of any equation that there can be. That's why the ARPS equation is so popular. There can be infinite equations to explain the decline. How did you come to a
So
conclusion that this is my
then I have generated equations up to order 5, and
okay.
then I have compared the accuracy of that equation with by comparison of the errors that equation is giving, and again for defining the accuracy of our equation, we have predicted for the next 10 years. The one which is giving us the more reliable result, we have taken that for our.
What is the highest power of time in that equation that you have modeled?
It was of 4th.
And
But
how
then-
many
Four.
total terms were there in that equation that you have modeled?
Yeah.
How many total terms?
Yeah.
Can you please
You have
give
They,
us
they
the
were they
equation?
were constant. Yeah,
Yeah.
you used 5-order equation, right?
fourth order
4
equation.
order. So what were how many total number of terms were there?
Because what Jayesh is
First-
asking is,
Yes.
when we say fourth order, it can be
Mhm.
like T1, T2, T3, T4, and things like that. Like anything can be there, right?
4
So-
t to the
Your
power 4.
your
Even-
voice
yeah.
was not. Hello, so Divyanshu sir, your voice.
Yeah. Just explain the model, the kind of equation that your model had, and we will understand. Yeah.
It was a fourth order equation, and the number of terms were the constant, and the x square, x cube, and x over 4.
Okay.
What parameters were in the data set that you have used?
Flow rate and time.
Only 2 parameters.
Yes.
Yeah, just flow rate versus time data you used, and you decided that there might be some sort of equation that might be fitting, and then you compared the accuracy
Yes.
of all the cases. And okay.
Yeah, all the cases, and then we have to do for the next 10 years.
Okay. So,
So have you
But I
further
guess you-
tried for fifth order
Yeah.
and sixth order equation?
Okay.
because that's the game. That's because why I'm asking this, Pranjal, because it might even look good on
Yes, sir.
visualization. It might look good, like the decline is fine, but you are talking right now in STBs and triple STBs and things like that. So even if something that makes a slight difference in visualization costs you thousands of millions of barrels of oil, so finding
Yes,
the
sir.
best model is very important. And this is the case where you are going for polynomial. Why not 100th power? Why not? Because even a tiny bit of accuracy will help you save million barrels, because ultimately you will be forecasting production, right? And you will have to find out the remaining reserves from that, right? So if you have to find that remaining reserves, and if your model is inaccurate, even if it's a 0.01% inaccuracy, it multiplies by 10 to the power 6. So you can imagine the
10 power
magnitude.
6. Hmm.
So it's a huge. So if I just ask you the next question, let's say we have a model in our hands, we have done all the things. How do you calculate the reserves from that? Decline curve models. Define reserves first.
Define results.
What is a reserve? You have a motorcycle and you say that
Yes,
it's on,
yes.
it's on reserve.
Reserves are the okay. Reserves are the amount of the hydrocarbons which are present in any field and which can be produced commercially.
Okay,
That we can term as a reserve.
that's it.
Means hydrocarbon in place which we can produce commercially.
Okay.
Commercial
So I have an
Yeah.
information. Let's say I have an information. I have an oil field. I own that oil field.
Okay.
2 months back, I calculated the definition that you gave, the amount of hydrocarbon that I could
Yes.
produce commercially. I calculated, and it was
Commercial.
around million barrels, and it was I
Okay.
calculated that around October or something. And people are working on that oil field. They are producing oil from it. So if I say that what is the reserve in that oil field today, is it the same that I calculated 2 months back? If your bike is in a reserve and you still go for a tour and you come back, will there be same amount of petrol left?
No.
Then the reserve has changed, right?
Reserve has changed.
Exactly. That's the answer. So the reserve is like given date forward. We are looking into the future. Your definition is absolutely correct, but you have to specify the time scale as well.
times.
Okay, Pranjal, can you
Yes.
define oil formation volume factor?
Formation volume factor is simply the ratio of the volume of oil at the reservoir conditions to the volume of oil at the surface conditions. That is the
Okay.
formation volume factor.
So in reservoir conditions, will this BO, we say it BO, right? So
Yes,
this
yes.
BO term will also be considering the dissolved gas or not?
Yes, dissolved gas is dissolved in the oil. It will be part of a oil. So
Yeah.
we'll be considering it.
Okay.
That's why B naught is greater than
Yeah, right. You're right. And
Mhm.
how it will vary with pressure? BO.
BO.
Yeah.
Yeah, give a
First till
absolute.
bubble point. Till bubble
Yeah,
point, when the uh, gas will not be expelling out from the oil, it will increase till bubble point. At bubble point, B naught is maximum. And after once the reservoir has gone beyond the bubble point, it will decrease.
And why will it increase up to bubble point?
Because expansion of the gas inside the oil will there and volume of the oil will be greater. And then when gas has expelled out or liberated from the oil will shrink. Volume of the oil will decrease after the once
So
the
you are
reservoir
saying
has.
that gas that is dissolved, that is expanding while reducing the temperature, pressure while
Pressure.
reducing. That gas that is dissolved inside,
Gas that is dissolved inside the oil.
but that is dissolved
Expansion
only.
of the
Don't you
expansion
think
of
that
the
only liquid state will be present in the reservoir? Because the gas is dissolved in oil, you said it.
Mhm. As the pressure will decrease, the
Yeah. So liquid will also expand.
liquid will also expand, but the liquid as compared to gas
Gas
compressibility
is
or
not there. Gas is not there in the reservoir.
it is dissolved with the liquid with the oil.
Yeah. Only liquid phase is present.
Mm.
As we see in PVT diagrams, PT graph, you can say that when pressure is above bubble point curve, only liquid phase is present.
Only liquid phase is there.
Okay, cool. So, and what is gas solubility?
Gas solubility means kitni gas is pressure pick means the amount of the gas which is dissolved in the oil at a specified pressure
Okay.
is gas solubility.
Amount of gas present in oil.
Dissolved in the oil at a specified pressure.
Okay. And in which units we calculate the gas solubility? The volume of gas and volume of oil we were talking, that were in which conditions?
GOR is calculated in the standard conditions.
Hmm. Right.
Standard,
That is
standard.
GOR. GOR and RS is different.
RS is different. Yes, yes.
Yeah. I am about RS.
In standard conditions.
Okay. So what will be what units we use in our industry for standard conditions for gas volume and oil volume?
Sorry, sir, can you repeat the question?
What units we use in our industry for calculating the gas volume and oil volume in standard conditions?
In standard conditions, we have
Yeah. Field
pressure,
units.
degree,
No.
temperature,
No.
6.
Volume units. Whether it's feet cube, barrel.
Achha, okay.
Yeah.
It's feet cube.
Feet cube for both.
Feet cube for oil. No,
Feet
sorry. Feet cube for gas and barrels for oil.
Yeah, standard cubic feet for gas and
Standard cubic feet for for gas and barrels for standard barrels for oil.
Don't get tense, Pranjal. It's just a mock interview.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Take your time. It's perfect. So, can you tell me, like, a quick question? How many gallons are there in a barrel?
How many gallons?
Yeah. It's not a stress question because
Mhm.
it's a remembrance kind of question, memory based. But if you can remember, how many barrels, how many gallons in a barrel, or how many feet cube in a barrel, anything you can answer, either one of them.
1 barrel equals to 5.615 feet cube,
Yeah, right.
Right.
and I can find it out. And
Yeah, yeah, perfect. That's what I want. Yeah.
yeah, I
I
can
don't want
find
to
it out.
want you to remember.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
remember this.
Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, perfect. So, if I say that my oil formation volume factor is 1, what does that mean?
Means
Can it
reservoir
go
में जो
below 1? Can it go below 1?
no 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 no
Okay, then what does 1 mean?
means जो भी reservoir the volume of the oil at reservoir is equal to volume of the oil at surface.
And
तो मतलब
at what condition will this happen?
जब oil में कोई gas present ही ना हो.
कौन से केस में, कहाँ पे, सरफेस या
या
रिजर्वोयर?
किस प्रेशर टेम्परेचर किस में ये चीज होगी?
ये आपका होगा ऊपर सबसे सरफेस कंडीशंस पे, जब पूरा एटमॉस्फेरिक कंडीशंस सर पे जब पूरी गैस निकल जाएगी, when all the gases will be escaping out.
But BO is the ratio of reservoir volume of oil and surface volume of oil, right? So what will be pressure at reservoir condition when BO will become 1?
1.
Okay, so basically, like, it just means, like you just said, it's totally gas is lost out of the oil. So it means maybe there is no oil remaining no gas remaining in the oil, even at the reservoir conditions. Maybe you have produced the case for so long that all the gas is now lost, and it's out of the oil and some sort of that. It's called dead oil. Dead oil.
Dead oil. Dead oil.
So BO is equals to 1 is more feasible for low API oil or high API oil?
BO
Formation volume factor, which is
Mhm.
equal to 1, which is not naturally true, but it is more feasible for a oil which has a high API or oil which has low API.
Heavy oils will move means will show less BO value, means less than so heavy oils means less API, so less API will show.
All right, correct.
Okay, cool. Pranjal, can you define viscosity of oil or viscosity of any fluid? What is viscosity?
Just in simple words, no need to
Yeah.
use any.
Just use your 12th, 11th, 12th definition to define.
Petroleum from scratch. So definitions also from scratch.
Petroleum is okay. Means let's suppose that fluid is flowing in fluid, so एक type of resistance which is existing between the layers of the fluid when it is flowing and is opposing the motion is the viscosity, in simple words we can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we talk about viscosity of crude oil,
Yes.
can you tell me how it will vary with pressure? Viscosity of crude oil.
Viscosity of the crude oil till bubble point
will vary with reservoir pressure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I got it. Till bubble point at means when the pressure of the reservoir is decreasing,
Yeah.
and at the point until it reaches the bubble point, the viscosity will continuously decrease, and at the bubble point it is lowest.
Yeah.
And once the reservoir pressure has gone beyond the bubble point, then the viscosity will increase continuously.
And why is this phenomena happening?
Because viscosity are, if the molecules are more closer to each other, viscosity will be high. If the molecules are far apart from each other, viscosity will be low.
And why is this happening?
Now,
If
yes,
molecules
yes, yes. Now I am just coming to the point. So when, now considering the case when the reservoir pressure is above the bubble point,
yeah,
so gas is present inside the oil. So the molecules of the oil will means at a certain distance will be there. So viscosity will not be so much high. But when the gas is gets means out of the oil, escape out of the oil volume will shrink, and the molecules will get closer to each other, and because of that, viscosity will increase. So this is the case phenomenon.
okay.
Okay, so when the pressure drops below bubble point, what happens to the flow rate of oil?
When the flow rate of oil will, this is the question
Pressure
means
bubble point के नीचे गिर गया, मतलब bubble point is
bubble point
3000 psi.
3000, yes, and reservoir
Or
pressure is not only 200, let's suppose.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So formation of the gas will be there. So
Mhm.
gas will, it's a case of multi phase flows. So
Yeah.
more losses will be there. So flow rate will decrease, but gas will also support the means we can't say ki flow rate will increase or decrease. It depends on the condition. I
But
think.
remember, I said oil flow rate.
Flow rate of
Oil.
oil.
Particular
Okay,
phase,
oil. Sorry.
single phase.
Single
Yeah.
phase will decrease.
Then what is the factor that is decreasing this flow rate? Or what are the
Because
factors?
relative permeability of the
Right,
oil
yeah.
is decreasing continuously, because
Why?
relative permeability to gas will increase, and once the gas saturation is greater than critical gas saturation, gas will start to flow, and then
Brilliant.
oil.
Brilliant.
There's
And
one
other reason you also said right now the viscosity of oil will start to increase as we
That's
Yes.
spoke.
also, yeah.
That's also that
That
will
will
be
also dominate
yes.
the decrease.
Yes.
Okay, Pranjal. So can you please define compressibility? Again, from in simple words from scratch. What is compressibility of any
Compressibility means if suppose if compressibility of gas or oil, anything.
anything, either
Okay, okay.
solid or liquid or
If
gas?
if uh, if we have any substance, like, and if we apply the pressure,
Yeah.
and if there's a kind of change in its volume is there on applying the pressure, then we can say yes, that substance is compressible. And if there is no change in the volume, then we say it is not compressible. So in simple words, that
Yeah.
will be
Right.
change in volume with
Right.
respect to what?
with this with respect to pressure.
Yeah. And
When we
gas.
apply the pressure, then change in volume will be there. If no change in the volume will there, while applying the pressure, then we can say it's not not compressible.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So let us assume that I have asked your thing that I have a oil whose
Okay.
compressibility is in negative, whose compressibility is negative.
Its compressibility is negative. Okay.
Yeah. So what can you conclude from this? If anything is given to you whose compressibility is in negative terms,
Hmm.
not just
Okay.
oil, anything.
Okay.
So what you can conclude from this?
Negative means when we are applying pressure, its volume increases.
Yeah. Right.
And if we are decreasing the pressure, if volume increases.
Yeah. Right. Right.
That
Absolutely right.
is that is the significance.
Okay. So now can you tell me how the compressibility of a crude oil will vary with reservoir pressure?
Compressibility of the crude oil will vary with the pressure. Uh, when when pressure, suppose when the reservoir is at very high pressure, its volume will be low. But when as the pressure decreases, its volume will increase.
Yeah.
So we have a negative compressibility here,
Why?
because when pressure is decreasing, its volume is increasing.
Yeah, that's a positive compressibility.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So this is the case of
Okay, let me. If the pressure of reservoir becomes lesser than the bubble point,
Hmm.
then what will happen with the compressibility of oil?
Pranjal, here's some role of gas in the oil. So think
gas
in
Yeah,
in the
terms
oil.
of think it related to gas. How can you explain the compressibility?
I just think you will come to the answer. I know.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Initially, when the reservoir pressure is above the bubble point, gas will
Yeah.
be there along with the oil. So when we are decreasing the pressure, the oil volume will continuously increase.
Yeah. Right.
But when the reservoir pressure is below the bubble point, gas will
Yeah.
be gas has evolved out. So when we and compressibility of oil is not very high, not is not very much.
Yeah.
So when we decrease the pressure, very less change in the volume will be there.
Yeah.
So this is what.
See, Pranjal, we
Uh,
are coming from a reservoir pressure to bubble point pressure, right?
Mhm.
Gas is expanding, as you said, means gas is expanding inside the oil. So in this scenario, what will be the compressibility? Means compressibility is increasing or decreasing as we are coming from reservoir pressure to bubble point pressure?
Compressibility is decreasing.
Decreasing. Why?
Yes, because compressibility is del V by del P.
Don't see the formula here. Just use your intuition. Just use your imagination.
Mhm.
See,
minus 1 by
as we are coming nearer to the bubble point pressure, there will be more
Yeah.
and more gas
Mhm.
inside the oil. So what gas does? Gas
Mhm.
is what gas is doing to the oil? Is it increasing the? It is making oil more compressible or less compressible?
Mhm. It is making the oil less compressible. No, gas is making the oil more compressible.
So if we come after the bubble point, what is happening? We are coming down from the bubble
No
point.
gas will be there.
Hmm.
No gas will be there, and oil will become less compressible as compared to the case when the reservoir is above the bubble point.
Right. Okay. Jesh, you wanted to ask this thing only, right?
Yeah. Pranjal, I'm just asking, do you know formula of compressibility? I'm just asking, not for the question.
Yes, it's 1 by V del, matlab change in volume upon change in pressure.
And do you know what formula we use in our reservoir engineering?
Reservoir engineering, uh, it's negative sign along with the negative sign.
Minus 1 by B naught del B
Yes,
naught by del P. Have you come
yes,
across? And there is also another formula that have some extra term, that is Bg del Rs by del P by Bu.
Yes.
yes, yes,
You know
yes.
that thing? So what is the significance of that extra term that comes in our compressibility formula when our pressure reduces below bubble point?
When our pressure reduces below bubble point, then B naught will continuously decrease.
Yeah, B node leave, B node turn.
Okay.
Let's just talk about del RS by del P, Bg by Bm. That term only. What is that representing? What do you think will happen in reservoir? That we are also adding this term in the compressibility formula.
Because
Think mathematically.
compressibility depends on the amount of the gas present in the oil. RS means hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why we have used this extra term.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you tell me the significance of negative sign?
Negative sign in the compressibility equation.
Compressibility equation.
Okay.
Simple
Means
compressibility equation.
when pressure is means significance is that when pressure difference of pressure is positive, then the difference in the volume will be negative. For example, let us in a simple way, I'm just talking about, because compressibility can't be negative. So in order to
Right.
compensate for the positive term, we have used a negative
Yeah.
sign. In simple words, we can
Got
say.
it, got it, got it. Yeah. Yeah. So, Pranjal, can you tell me, like, moving on to a slightly different topic,
Okay.
can you tell me various kind of flow regimes that exist in the reservoir? Flow regimes, like the way the pressure is a function of time or maybe not.
Okay.
So, in that
Flow
terms,
regimes
yeah.
mean in basically three types of the flow regimes: unsteady, pseudo steady, and the steady state
And
flow
define
regimes.
them in short. Define steady state and pseudo steady state.
Steady state means when the reservoir pressure is constant, means जितना हमने प्रोड्यूस किया उतना ही वो इन्फ्लक्स आ गया, so that the reservoir pressure is हाँ ये सर
कहाँ से आएगा influx?
सपोर्ट अगर रिजर्वायर किसी support system या support mechanism, जैसे for example if we have withdrawn the fluid and the reservoir is the water drive is there inside the reservoir, then
You mean an
the water
aquifer?
yeah aquifer.
Right.
In pseudo steady state, the reservoir has the pressure waves has touched the reservoir boundary in pseudo steady
Mhm.
state.
What is the trend?
Trend in which what?
How do you
How does
identify it's a
pressure-
pseudo? Yeah.
Yeah.
How does pressure vary? It's pseudo steady state.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Rate of change of pressure is constant in a pseudo steady state.
Rate of change of pressure, as in rate, yeah, with respect to time, right? Or rate.
Pressure respect to time. This is
Okay.
constant. Yes.
Okay. So let's say I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Keep yours, like, listen very carefully. I have a reservoir from my wellbore. I am talking about a position 100 feet away from my wellbore. Okay. There's no skin. Skin was only very
Okay,
close
okay.
to the wellbore.
Okay.
Now I'm talking about a point which is R equals to 100 feet. Right?
R equals 100 feet,
I'll give you
considering from the reservoir. Okay.
Right. From the
Okay,
wellbore.
from the well. Okay.
R equals to 100. Okay.
Okay.
So that's a point. Now I'll give you scenarios. Listen carefully. In one case, at initial scenario, I'll give you in one case I will give you at t equals to 0, at r equals to 100 feet, my measurement of pressure was 3000 psi, right? Now is the main game. After 10 hours, if it's a steady state, what will be the pressure
It will be same.
at that same point?
It will be same.
Okay. And if it's a pseudo steady state, what will be the pressure?
At the same point after 10 hours.
At the same point. After 10 hours, if you need an information,
Yes,
ask me. I need this information.
What is the rate of change of pressure?
I say it's the rate of change of pressure is 100
psi per hour.
psi per hour. per hour.
So after 100 hours, you're asking about you're
After
asking
10 hours. After 10
10
hours.
So
Yeah.
rate of change pressure will be 1000 psi. So 3000 minus 1000,
Right.
2000.
Good. Good. So, can you comment on the kind of boundary? You explained that in steady state there was an aquifer at my
Yes.
boundary. You kind of suggested that.
Yes.
What kind of boundary can you expect in a pseudo steady state?
No.
You said that
No.
my pressure wave
Yes.
has traveled up to the boundary. Yeah.
It can
But what boundary?
be no flow boundary.
It can be or
It should be. It should be. It should be no flow
And
boundary.
an example of a no flow boundary? When do you observe a no flow boundary scenario? It's a geological term.
What do you mean by no flow boundary? What is
Yeah.
the
Means
first thing which comes into mind?
impermeability.
Yeah.
If the
But it's a
yes,
boundary,
yes.
right? So
No
there
flow.
must be some name, some yeah, no flow boundary has a example. You know, but you cannot recall right now. You know that. I think you cannot recall because you know that. You know the answer.
I think it's not his fault. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his
What
fault,
is,
man.
yeah.
It's not his fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You remember, but you cannot recall. It's not your fault. And the answer is a fault. Great one, Divya. So it's a non-sealing fault. It should have been your fault in this case. So if it's a real interview, make sure it's your fault when this question is asked.
And don't get
So-
tense in the interview.
Yes, sir.
Don't get tense in the interview. This is only
You're
about
answering correctly, but bring a tinge of confidence. That will make it better, right?
Yes, sir.
Pranjal, I have
So,
Yes, sir.
two quick questions. Talking
Yes.
of different flow regimes, you have also worked on decline curve analysis. Is there any important assumption in analyzing the decline curves? Like this should be the state of
Yes.
yeah. What is
The main assumption is the well should be in a pseudo steady state condition.
right?
The main
Why do
assumption.
we assume this? Do you have any explanation?
Because decline curve means अब एक जो डिक्लाइन हो रहा है वो हमको एक कांस्टेंट लेना पड़ेगा कि मान लीजिए हमने ले लिया फॉर एग्जांपल इनिशियली हम इनिशियल 0 से फिर हमने ले लिया 10 साल तक 10 इन initially we are producing for a time period of 10 years, so we have time of 10 years, and according to this we have calculated the flow rate. In the next sequence, if we are considering the time of 20 years, then we can't compare the decline curve, means what type of the decline curve is there, so we go for pseudo steady state.
Okay. You few time back you told me that in the case of means if IPR and TPR curves are not intersecting, we prefer to introduce artificial lift methods, right?
Yes.
So what is artificial lift method doing here so that it will make IPR and TPR intersect with each other?
Means artificial lift is giving us the desired flow rate
How? Yes, it is giving us the desired flow
by
rate.
reducing
Great.
the bottom by reducing
Right.
the bottom hole pressure.
Right. So bottom hole, can you imagine this graphically? Means bottom hole pressure is at the y-axis of the graph of IPR and TPR, right?
Mm.
So what it is doing is reducing the bottom hole pressure and making us to reach the desired flow rate. Yeah, you have given the correct answer. No issues. Fine.
Mhm.
Okay. So I think we should wrap up the interview now. Or does anyone have any other questions?
No, I'm all clear.
Jayesh and Anshul?
Yeah, it's okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it from my side.
Pranjal, you have any questions to ask us?
So can you give me the feedback? What was means as a
Yeah.
mm,
Can we stop the
real
recording?
interview?
I
Yeah,
guess.
I'll stop the recording. I mean, interview is officially ended. We can give you feedback after